Hello everybody, it's Harry Boxer, the Tactical Trader at thetechtrader.com. These are the charts for the day. Well, a rough day on Wall Street. Some of our stocks did great. It was a good trading day, but the market looks like it could be fighting a losing battle here. And today was an ugly rollover. The futures are down after hours, and I'm not quite sure that we haven't just begun a decent 4 to 6% or 6 to 8% pullback. We'll just have to see what we get if there's a follow through. I'm going to go over some longs and shorts today. Starting off with Chimerex, which had a big day up 301 or almost 12% on 2.1 million. On a day like this, excellent relative strength. And look at the breakout above the double top today. Now, on a short-term basis, this high today near 30 was right near or maybe right at the top of the channel, so we could get some pullback retracement. But any extension, and we could see 34.5 in the stock. So keep an eye on this one, particularly in this market. It's showing relative strength. ECYT had a big day today. If you look at the little base pattern here, you'll see that it attempted to break out with a pop of $1.17 or 17% on 5.7 million. Now that's the biggest volume way back here on an update since a year ago. So if we do get a breakout above today's high at 841, and it did close back at 804, there's a possibility we could see this run into this huge gap and make another move of another couple 3 points. We'll see. FEYE. I like the fact that during the morning it popped back up to resistance, and although it did pull back, it managed to hold on to a 28-cent gain, a little less than 1%, but 14.2 million, the biggest volume in a week basically. And you can see how there is resistance there. If we can get it up through that level, that's the level we'll be looking at. With 34.85, I expect this to extend, but there could be a pullback if the market pulls back to retest the 31.2 zone. Now, GoPro folks, I want you to know that I think the short-term move could be a little long in the tooth and perhaps exhausted, but the volume isn't huge, although 13.4 million, nothing to sneeze at. You can see the parallel channel and the fact that the stock tagged the top of that channel at 68.25 and then backed off to 64.19, so nearly a 4-point drop. Still up a fraction today, but it might as well have been a reversal day. Not going to lie to you, I think that the stock has a vulnerability back towards the high 50s, but any pullback into that 58.60 zone, if it holds on low volume, could accelerate the stock back into the low to mid 70s eventually if the market continues forward. But it's a stock with momentum, but it's long in the tooth. Be very careful. Play this with stops. Same with MBLY. Long, big move here, an extensive move, taking this from almost doubling from 32 to about 58 in a very short period of time. Let me take out some noise here, so you can see what this has been going through the last few weeks. Popped out to new highs to a 3-day little coil, and from this level at 42.60, it ran to 58.61 in the last 3 sessions alone. So maybe a little overbought on this one as well, to say the least, and perhaps we could come back down and retest the 50-52 zone before moving up towards the low to mid 60s. Now I'm going to examine some of the ultra shorts today, in particular on a 15-minute chart. I want you to see some of these base patterns that have developed. Now watch the this pattern here. As you can see, if you're coming way down from the high 40s, it's at 15, just in the last few sessions. It's based out, rounded, and you can see that today exploded late in the session as the market rolled over to test its resistance on the 22nd up around 45. If we can get to 45 tomorrow, I think the stock has a chance of running towards 45.5, 6, 47, who knows where. But in a really bad market can get this flying. And my next target is 48. While we're on the subject, TZA, similar pattern. You can see it's moved up to the resistance zone after taking out declining top lines here and here. The target's next is 15.25, maybe 16. UVXY also a nice base for the last couple of weeks. You can see that we would need a pop across 25.5, 62 range to get this up to 28.75, my next target. Nice little base pattern. TXMD had a pretty good session today as it broke out above pre-resistance after consolidating for 3-4 weeks. But it wasn't a great close, and it did pull back to finish up only 17 cents on the day. So not happy with the close on it. It wasn't that far off the high. kind of mid-range, right at resistance. Looking at the longer term picture, I have targets up around 7.25 and then 9, depending on whether or not this market is able to hold on here. And the short term support and stop would be under, say, 5, 10, 15. Lastly is Watt on the long side. Big day today. It exploded from 10.59 to 12.96 and closed only 9 cents off the high of $1.88 or 17%. Beautiful day for the stock. But I would look for to see if the spike high at 13.69-ish, another 80 cents or so, is able to be taken out. If you look at the declining top line, we poked our head above it and closed above it. And one of the reasons I'm showing you this stock is because of the way it acted in a very poor market today. Speaking of poor market, let's look at some of the boxes shorts and see how they're faring here. A few samples are Arctic Cat, which has been in a declining channel for months now, almost a year. Having dropped from the 61.2 range down to the low 30s, bounced, but appears to be rolling over again. Look at the break today. If this line is supported and it took this out, watch for a quick test at the double bottom in here, about 34.5. If we get below that, we're looking at 31.75, 32. Or a lot worse if the bottom of the channel is tested down here in the high 20s. Garmin, well, after a multiple year or double, let's just say year-long rally, it took it from the low 30s to the low 60s. A hidden shoulder pattern or topping pattern formed here. Rolled over at resistance there, broke support, broke the trend line, and bounced off of the next support at today's low near 50. 50.25, 29 or so is the low. Now it did bounce and there is resistance up here, but I'm expecting lower levels, perhaps to test the February lows somewhere in the, let's call it 44 zone. ININ. Nasty looking pattern. 1, 2, 3, and fourth wave. The fourth wave is forming a large coil. If that fourth wave breaks down, we can see mid-30s on the stock. 36 is the target. K&D, current boxer swing chart. Broke down, rallied to resistance, beginning to roll over here. Down a small fraction today, but looking to see if this can make it back down to 17. Michael Kors, to being in a wonderful uptrend. Broke down here, rising bear wedge, another one. A rollover, we're right on support. Any break here, we could see the stock in the 66.7 range. New Skin continues to press lower. Having dropped from the April-May levels up in the low to mid-90s, the stock has rolled over to the low 40s. And yet, I don't see it as being done just yet until we see 32, 33. Qihoo, massive top perhaps, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The major trend channel has been broken when it broke through here. The double bottom was broken today. I'm expecting a test of this double bottom near 74. That's about 8 points from here. Break that level, it's all over for Qihoo. Terex. After breaking this pattern to the downside and retesting the support, which was broken now, becomes resistance. You can see the rollover underway today, dropped to $1.54, 4.2%, right on its major trend channel. Let's go back a bit. You can see this connects the lows going all the way back. And if we break here, we're looking at 28. Tupperware, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. A big breakdown, breakaway gap to the downside. A little bear wedge. Rally back up to test the neckline. And beginning to roll over, dropped a bit today. And lastly is Waddell and Reed WDR, which I put out as this new swing today. Massive top formation. Stock has run from the 27 range all the way up to the 77 range nearly, and began to roll over. You can see what looks like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder complex. Bear flag, another one, comes down, runs up into the moving averages, declining tops line. Today it dropped to $1.29, and we could be witnessing the beginning of another rollover, which takes us down to 48. There's the long and short of it tonight. I'll talk to you in the trading room tomorrow. Be careful, everyone. We're going to be rough out there. Fasten your seatbelts.